Welcome to the Alchemist Academy, a space where we as individuals collectively empower ourselves to navigate this game of life through purpose and, more importantly, the transmutation of our mindsets. My name is Sunflow, and today we're going to be speaking about what I call the phrase. So this phrase, I guess to put it in the most simplest terms, it's just a very simple verbal exercise that I personally do to bring awareness to the emotion that I'm feeling at any given time, right? Day to day, we just kind of go through life. We have our regular stresses and the regular stuff that just runs through our minds, but we never just give ourselves a moment to analyze what emotion we feel and why we feel it, right? So this phrase allows me to discover why I feel the need to attach myself to that emotion. It allows me to see if that emotion deserves to be held on to because it may be serving me, or if it's time to let it go. The following episode took place at my go-to park. This park is a place where I could just detach for a few moments to just kind of be vulnerable with myself. Typically, as soon as I land on that park, I turn on my mic and I start walking. That's my flow state. So of course, that's what I did. I turned on my mic and all of a sudden this topic of the phrase kind of just came through. It wasn't the initial topic. Initially, I was just talking about the event that I had experienced the day before. The day before, I held conversation with two beautiful women about their religion. And it was kind of beautiful. Like they were speaking about how, I guess, their religion provides them with purpose. And that's beautiful. I spoke a little bit about that experience during the first few minutes of this episode. And that's the reason why I'm kind of giving you forewarning. It kind of starts off being something and then it turns into something else. But my initial, the main goal with this episode is to speak about a technique called the phrase. So if you want to skip around, and find that, you can certainly do so. But you can also strap in and just kind of go with it, Anyways, if you do want to listen to that full episode where I held conversation with these women, you can check it out on my YouTube page. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward and let's see where this can take us. The title of this transmission is Just Say the Phrase. Today's episode is brought to you by The Alchemist. At The Alchemist, we offer a wide range of tools that are designed to help you keep your mind right. From personalized voice notes to keep you motivated, to guided meditations to help you sleep through the night or start your day on the bright side of the bed. If you have something weighing on your mind, hit me up. Sometimes we just need a little space to talk things out in order to gain some clarity. I'm not a doctor or a licensed therapist, but that's a good thing. I don't have any fancy letters after my name or certificates on the wall. But what I do have is valuable non-judgmental perspective. It's what I do best. I value privacy, so we can communicate however feels safest to you. We could hop on a call, or you could send me your situation through text, maybe even an email. Shit, if you really want to keep it private, we could tap it out through Morse code. Check out my website or send me an email for more information. Hit me up and let's see how I can be of service to you. The Alchemist. Alchemize your mind to redesign your reality. Now, let's get back to this episode.
We're going to allow this flow to step in real quick. Right? I had a wonderful conversation with two women that were an intuitive feeling for me to hold space with. Life for me lined up to give me an option. That option was exercised. And so I held conversation with two individuals who on a regular, normal day, I wouldn't have. And what that opportunity brought to me was perspective, right? Because, people will believe whatever they want to believe. It doesn't matter what religion or whatever you believe in, like people will believe whatever they believe in, whether it's crazy to another person's eyes or not. Like, it's not our job to try to convince them otherwise, man. Like, that conversation, you had an agenda with those ladies, but like, you can't really get anywhere with religious people. It's difficult to have a conversation with them, logical conversation, because they keep on saying the same shit that doesn't resonate. It's unfortunate. But like, one thing is that sometimes, like, you notice that ignorance is bliss, right? Ignorance is bliss simply because they're happy. So who the fuck am I to say that they shouldn't be happy because they don't believe in whatever I believe in? Like, even if they're in their own world and it's a fucking demise. Like, I mean, the best thing that I can say is that I hope that they're happy. Both of them, at least yesterday, they seem to be chilling, bro. One lady had the confidence to keep those eyes locked in. That's rare you see nowadays, And the other woman is doing fucking God's work over here, raising 4 boys, single. So, my first initial thought is, let me try to convince them that their shit is crazy. Right? I know that sounds harsh and it's not really, it sounds malicious. And it is in a way, definitely. I just get a bit theatrical. Understand that's just theater. But I did feel that I can provide some perspective. And in my head, my ego was like, maybe I could spark some questions within their minds that allows them to emerge. But like, who am I? I'm over here fucking impregnating them with a virus. When people are fine. People are fine. Just do you, man. In many ways, ignorance is bliss. Because being ignorant is childlike, and the goal is to remain childlike. I would say that we need to be consciously ignorant. Like, understand, but you keep on going, man. Do your thing, man. You're not here to save the world. Just play your game, So I held conversation with these 2 beautiful ladies that they were Jehovah Witness. And initially my intuition was just telling me just to hold conversation, just simply because the other option was to not have conversation with anyone for the next hour, because that was the game plan, an hour to myself to gain clarity. But I asked my intuition, I was like, that seems like a cool idea, right? Just to go talk to them, right? And so I followed that nudge of excitement, because at that moment, that was the most exciting thing that I could have done. Like, out of the 2 options I had, I could have gone inward, you know what I'm saying? Or I could have expressed outward, And so I decided to do that. And so I sat down with these wonderful ladies, and they were Jehovah Witness, right? And so I'm intrigued because for my whole life, I have never given them a chance, right? I remember them knocking on the doors, and I was like, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me just to hold space at a time now where I'm mature enough to just go ahead and listen and digest in a certain way. And so that's what I did. I set out to find out what this religion was all about. And also there were some opportunities where I saw that it was a place, it was an opportunity for me to express myself and receive information and receive perspective without judgment. I didn't judge, right? I ended up finding out that my belief is the same. It's the same story, just a different script. Like, it's the same theme, Because even though I don't believe in a organized religion, I have my beliefs, but those beliefs, they were shared to me through my reality, right? Through my senses. And that's what I most resonated with. And it's kind of the same story. Like, they believe in a new earth. Yes, but I do believe in a new earth, though. But that bullshit, you know, because at the end of the day, really, we just gotta live our life, man, and just do our best to be our best versions, man. And who cares about tomorrow, bro? Thinking about that whole New Earth shit, you know what I'm saying? If it makes you a better person today, okay, no doubt, you know. And I do believe that there are times, there's gonna come a time, right? But we are in those times now because it's in your mind. Like my reality, in relation to, let's say, without comparing to a certain extent, with the average Joe, I mean, I think that, you know, I do live in my own little paradise, you know, compared to how I used to be and who I used to be. Today, I'm in basically a paradise, but it's my decision to see that perspective and confirm it as mine, or I could be like, you know, all negative about it. Anyways, another thing that I noticed when speaking with them, uh, you know, I felt like telling them my truth, saying my truth to a person that's part of organized religion. Uh, I feel like I'm doing that, just like they felt that they're doing justice, because what they went back to, right? The urge that they feel, the desire, the passion that they're expressing, it comes from the feeling that they know something so great they have to put you on game, right? But that's only if you choose to be put on game. So like they're not gonna force it upon you. We believe that they do, just prospectively, because they have times and moments where, you know, they're knocking on your door, but they're not really forcing you. You can close the door on them and that's okay, you know? But they still continue to go about their thing to whoever wants to hear, right? I can resonate with that. Now I'm not gonna go knocking on your door, right? I'm not gonna do that. But if an opportunity presents itself where I feel that I'm allowed to be welcomed in with my gnosis, I'm all in, right? Yo, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let's have a conversation. We can share back and forth, kind of thing. That's how I'm getting it from them. I can resonate with that. Also, the whole New Earth thing. They believe something about the New Earth, how God's gonna, you know, bring them youth and bring them this. Yeah, I believe we're gonna get longevity, right? I believe that we're laying down the foundation for humanity to head in a certain direction as our because we are beautiful beings, soul beings, right? So they believe that shit. There's gonna come a time and there's gonna be people who are gonna fall and those who don't fall. And that sounds crazy, but also I believe it in my own script, because I do believe that because of the splitting of the new earth, right, there's gonna be those in the old earth and those in the new earth. Basically heaven or hell. It was interesting. But at the end of the day, none of that matters, man. What matters is the present moment, man. But it's hard to remember to stay in the present moment. So at this very moment, we're going to get into the present moment. Right now, it's Thursday for me, right? And today, everything is fine. Everything is fine. I can put labels and judgments on everything, but right now, the basics, my family's good right now. My family's good. The bills are good. I'm good. I feel good. I feel great, actually. Everything is fine, right? I can think about the stresses like, yo, but this and this and the other. Oh my God. But if we get to choose our reality every present moment, we have to do our best to stay in that present moment and just look at the facts, man. Facts are good sometimes, man. Look at the good facts. Only state the good facts, and them shits will be fucking, you know, they'll expand and grow. Right now, everything is good, but you know, I have my worries. I have my anxieties. When I feel these emotions like fear and anxiety, there's a phrase that I always put into play, right? Because there's a certain phrase that you ask yourself without judgment, just out of curiosity, to see if it's valid or not, right? So I would ask myself, okay, right now I feel anxious. I feel anxious, and that's okay. I have no judgment. It is what it is. I feel anxious, right? But also, another fact is I feel anxious right now because I choose to feel anxious, because we get to choose our emotions at every second of every moment at the present, right? So feeling anxious is a choice of mine. Now, it doesn't feel like a choice, right, on a layered base, but I would not feel it if I didn't think that it'd be serving me right now. So some underlining belief that I have is convincing me that feeling this anxious feeling is serving me, whether it's serving me to keep me in that fight mode, like, I bet we gotta do what we gotta do, or serving me in a way to bring me awareness of something. I have a belief within me that tells me that I should be feeling anxious right now, right? I can go ahead and rewrite that code so we can analyze this whole anxiety feeling. So let's ask it, what do I have to believe is true for me to feel anxious, right? For me to have to feel anxious, right? I have to feel it. Let's think logically, right? Because right now we know that we can reprogram it because we can choose at every second to, how we feel. So I am feeling anxious at this moment right now because I'm choosing to feel anxious. And the reason that I'm choosing to feel anxious is because I believe that feeling anxious is serving me right now. How is feeling anxious serving me? Okay. So how is feeling this anxiety or this anxious feeling? Is anxious anxiety? What I'm trying to say is anxious and anxiety. You know what I mean. So I'm feeling this anxiety right now because I have taken a leap of faith. Okay. Okay. Now, why does that lead you to feel so anxious? Well, because although today is the most perfect day of my life, right? I feel that I still don't have enough of an outlook on an outcome, right? But so far, everything has been working out, right? So far, since you started on this whole journey of excitement, on paper, in other ways, it looks crazy, but right now, what you know to be true, at least for your soul, not whatever outside perspectives, you are the happiest you've ever been. You are right now speaking into a mic with love, utilizing your voice to be of service, at least to yourself, by allowing yourself to express yourself and finally at least allow it to impregnate. This took time to get here where I'm at right now. And I have to check myself continually because it gets a little bit more difficult, right? The more searching you do, because we're in a game of transmutation, we have to transmute the dark with some light. So every time we turn a corner, we have some more darkness, and we have to, put our flashlight on that darkness. And that's the scary part. That's the reason people stay on autopilot, because they don't want to do that shit. They don't want to know thyself a little bit more, because not all of our parts are, 100%. We have a lot of traumas within us. But there's a certain beauty in life when trying to go within to try to repair the shit, because there was a lot of shit that was imposed on all of us because, we come from, we're traumatized beings, you know what I'm saying? But when we can go inward, and just at least for the moment talk to ourselves, right now, everything is good. I know whatever's whatever. The past is the past. But you know what's so beautiful about the past is that it can only affect you if you allow it to affect you. Right? Because the past no longer exists. That's a fact. How can it affect you if it doesn't exist? You're choosing. Right? The future is never going to be known. Tell me one thing you predicted and 100% it came to be the way that you had envisioned it. Never. Our brains aren't designed to determine the future, right? We just process the current moment. So if our brains can only process this current moment, we have to feed that current moment some positivity as much as possible. I understand that life is life and life's going to bring you mad shit, right? Because life is overwhelming, but it's supposed to be. Well, not really. Maybe it's not supposed to be. Maybe we're supposed to just have the ability to transmute. Well, yeah. I guess maybe with the game you would want some overwhelming shit so you can go ahead and have some climactic scenes, of course. But at any moment in time, just remember the phrase. When you're in some shit, like right now, what are you feeling? Ask yourself, take a moment in time to just be real with yourself and take a little bit of the flashlight and put it in a little corner where you haven't really looked at. Ask yourself, talk to yourself and ask yourself, what are you feeling right now, honestly? What is your honest feeling about yourself, right? And see what comes up. And go from there. I know that's a lot to ask for, but I'm not really. I'm just saying. I'm telling you what I did. You know, another thing, man, to keep it real, since we're just allowing some more of us to be known, I'm just getting to know myself more, and what I'm getting to know about myself now uh, is that I don't know if I want, like it's a weird word, right? But for me, it feels like fame, right? Whether on a small level or a grand stage, right? Like I've always been to myself, man. I don't even know nobody know what I got going on, right? But somehow now I've opened myself up, and I mean it doesn't really matter because it's my reality anyways. Listen, it's everyone's own simulation, so don't feel bad. But I wonder to myself if I want to multiply this, really, do I want to multiply? I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes you tap into something and you have to really look at it for what it is, right now, the name of the game is to follow excitement as much as I can. At any point in time, I have two options. Pick the one that's most exciting. You have those two options. Maybe you have three. But no matter what, you at least have two options. Pick the one that's more exciting, right? But not exciting, yeah, more exciting, whatever that means to you. Because life is a synchronistic flow, right? So if you continue to just pick the ones that you resonate with, right, you're just going to get more synchronistic events after that because you're just following that excitement. You're not being irresponsible. You still have shit to take care of. Life is still life. But at any point in time while being responsible, you have two options at least. Pick the most exciting one. I'll give you an example. Today, I had a choice. Right? This morning I had a choice. First thing in the morning, it's still early in the morning. I had a choice. And I went with the one that seemed a bit more exciting. Right? And here I am. I find myself just taking a little scroll with the mic on. I've done this mic shit for several years now, but it's never gone anywhere. I just have I have my voice notes. Sometimes over here I hold conversation with some of my clients. This is a very special place to me where I feel like I can tap into the flow state, whatever connection, it brings me what it needs to bring me. Anyways, so I've been doing this for quite a while now. I, of course, chose this because it's more exciting than staying in the office. That was the other option, to stay in the office. Hustle up and maybe, figure this out and do this and that and that. And I said, nah, you know what, man? I'm just going to go ahead and I've been nervous about what kind of content I'm going to put out, right? I don't know what kind of content I should put out. I don't know. What resonates is this, but I got to keep this going. Whatever comes up, whenever it comes up. I got demoted on YouTube. They took away some fucking fun shit because they were like, you don't have enough activity. I was like, I thought I put out one a week and that was good. They were like, nah, man. I gotta go full force, at least maybe with this, but I don't really resonate with that. What I resonate is me putting out when I put out, right? I can't force the flow. Don't ever force the flow. And me fucking making a video is forcing the flow. I could talk a bunch of shit, but So I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, so back to the phrase. Ask yourself, why are you currently feeling the emotion that you're feeling right now? Is it logical? And transmute. Only look at the good right now. In this very second, name all the good right now. You got a full fridge. Fucking bills are paid. Right? That's it. Family's happy. You're happy. If you got kids, hell yeah, you got kids. And if you don't, then you got time to be more of you. Anyways, so I guess that's the flow state. I had a long enough pause to know that maybe I should end it there before I start ranting. But utilize the phrase. Utilize the phrase, and you can fill in the phrase however you want, right? The phrase is, I guess, at its most basic form, and you can add on to it more in order, to just get more out of it. But in the most basic form, it's, I currently feel blank, right? So I currently feel unhappy, right? I feel unhappy because I choose to feel unhappy. And I choose to feel unhappy because I believe that it's serving me. How is feeling unhappy serving me, right? And you can take that phrase and you can play around with it, right? So whatever just comes, but start real simple. Start with literally that phrase. And then be honest with yourself. Why do you feel that having that emotion is serving you, right? And just see what comes up. It can be really weird saying that phrase to yourself out loud for the first time, right? Because you have to be vulnerable with yourself and be honest with yourself. But you'll see the beauty in it. You'll see some results. And as I said, you don't have to, you can fill it in with any phrase you want, any emotion that you're currently feeling, any point in time in your day. Just take a few seconds to lay out those questions to yourself, right? Because the fact is that you are choosing to feel that emotion. That emotion is not yours. It's kind of like something that's leased. You can take it for a while to experience it for a situation that you have, and then you have to let it go. You don't have to. You can stay with it if you want. But it's not really for you to keep. You can if you want to. So whatever emotion you feel that may be keeping you out of alignment, right? Keeping you down or keeping you weak or keeping you, I guess, in a weakened mental state, bring it up to the podium. Allow that emotion the stage, right? Give it the time necessary. So let's bring it up to the stage by simply asking questions. So why do I feel that I need you right now? Why do I feel that I need to feel fear? What is this feeling of fear providing me with? Okay, so I feel that I need to feel fear because with me feeling fear, I can procrastinate a little bit more. Okay, all right. And so on and so forth. Just continue to ask questions until you get answers that resonate, Don't be scared. Anyways, I'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. Thank you for creating this moment with me today, sharing this space with me today. It is an honor, it is my pleasure, it is my passion. And we'll see what comes of this, from here on out, and we'll see what comes next, really. So, yeah, we'll leave it there. Much love, tribe.
The Alchemist.